everybody, and welcome to our pitch sessions here at the Garden Stage. If you're not already wearing your headphones, this is a great time to put them on so you can hear everything that's going to be happening. My name is Emily Johnston, I'm your host for today, and if you've joined one of our sessions before, you know that this stage is all about hearing from innovative solutions on different topics. But this session is something a little bit different, so we're going to have reverse pitches. We'll be hearing from 4 mayors of different cities around the world who will be sharing concrete challenges that they are facing in their city. And afterwards, we'll be hearing from solutions who may potentially be able to help them solve their issues. So it's a really exciting session, and we have a wonderful jury here today who will be asking questions of the mayors later on. I would love for you guys to introduce yourself, just briefly say your name, what you're excited about in this pitch. And you can start. Thank you.
Hello, it's very nice to be here. I'm Cora Smelik. I'm the regional minister of the province of Flevoland in the Netherlands. And I'm very excited to be here and to pitch our idea later on, together with the deputy mayor of Amsterdam, who will be coming in just a minute.
Fantastic, great to have you here.
Hello to everyone. I'm Bertrand Picard, the chairman of the Solar Impulse Foundation. Our role is to identify economically profitable solutions to protect the environment. And now we have a portfolio of 1,400 of these solutions that we're putting in a guide for cities to help the key decision makers to reach their environmental pledges. So it's like a toolbox that we're providing.
Fantastic, and we had an amazing pitch session from the Solar Impulse Foundation yesterday already as well. Great to have you here.
Hello, I'm Michel Saban, the president of the Green Fund for the Women in Africa, in South America, and in China. I am a great pleasure here with all my different friends, and good luck for the presentation of many cities in the world.
Thank you.
Yes, hello, my name is Magnus Berntsson. I'm the president of the Assembly of European Regions, which is the largest independent regional network of Europe. But I'm also a regional minister for environment in my home region of Västra Götaland in Sweden, where Gothenburg is the major city. So I'm really looking forward to both hearing the pitches from the cities, but also the solutions and how we can multiply the solutions in the end. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hello, I'm Lucia Sinapi. I'm in Capgemini, in charge of Capgemini Ventures, and trying to identify startups that can help the group help our clients accelerate their energy transition programs, as well as cities, of course. So happy to hear what best practices are around and using the toolkit of your foundation.
Fantastic. All right, so we're going to have, as I said, 4 cities, and they each have 4 minutes to share with you issues that they're facing in their city. And afterwards, our jury will be asking questions. So thanks for the wonderful introductions. And first up, I want to ask you to give a big, warm welcome to the mayor of the city we are in right now, the city of Paris.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? Good. Welcome to Paris. So I'm not the mayor of Paris, but she was here this morning. Anne Hidalgo is a big champion for climate, the fight against climate change. My name is François Croquette. I'm the head of the brand new Ecological Transition and Climate Directorate within the city of Paris, just created to boost the fight against climate change. And I'm here to talk to you about a local carbon offset cooperative project, which is our way to look for answers to one of the biggest challenges we face. As you might know, we are committed, of course, to carbon neutrality by 2050. That's the local plan by the Paris Climate Plan project that was adopted back in 2008. So that was, of course, in line with the Paris Agreement. I'll just get rid of this. Our plan, of course, is to be ready for net zero by 2050. That's not going to be an easy task. We all know it. And one of the major challenges we face is that there's a roughly 20% part of our carbon emissions that we know we won't be able to cut down. That's the part that comes from mainly travel by plane, mostly. Most people who come to Paris, tourists for instance, using planes, that's the part we cannot eliminate, even though we're determined to fight carbon emissions. That part needs to be offset. And that for us is a challenge. One we're determined to face, as I said. It's part of the climate plan. As you can see it, the city will undertake a reflection by 2020 in order to set up a local carbon offset scheme. And that's what we've been doing. We're doing it with the metropolis of Paris, so that's the wider Paris area. We've just set up the same objective, setting up a compensation platform on the scale of the metropolitan territory. And that's what we've decided to do by creating this new tool, a cooperative at the local level. Why a co-op? Because we want to do something different. There's always a suspicion, I guess, when we're talking about climate change and carbon offset, that this could be actually greenwashing. Planting trees in Peru or in Indonesia is all very fine, especially if it has an impact on development, but we don't control what's going there. We want to make sure what we do to offset carbon emission is locally based, that it has an actual impact on the territory. This is why we've decided on the co-op format. As you can see on the slide, the scheme is quite simple. We've got a group of funders. They can be companies, they can be institutions like the City of Paris and the Metropolis. They can be citizens, NGOs, associations, and they're all coming together to pitch in, actually, and this is why we need help and ideas, because this is a brand new scheme, by putting in money, of course, but also resources and their knowledge. As I said, we want to make sure we're doing the right thing, that we're not greenwashing anything, which is why we need a group of experts to certificate the process. You can see them on the slide as well. These can be external auditors, this can be state agencies, of course, and local communities. Again, this is a coalition we're trying to build, and what we need is to make sure that we've got the right tools to do what the co-op is set up to do, which is financial steering, financing, of course, funding the projects, giving them the visibility they need with a platform that will be online, and finally get the stakeholders to make sure that they can get advice, expertise, money, again, funding, in order to finance those projects. And you can see here the type of projects we're looking at: renewable energies, forestry, urban project, waste, transport, circular economy, even agriculture. I know Paris is probably not your first idea to start up an agricultural project,
really
but this is where we're going to
Yeah.
do it, and this is why
We'll
we're going to do it this year in order to be ready for 2024, the Olympic and Paralympic Games. This is a major objective for us, and this is where we need your help, ideas, and again, expertise in order to be able to start this cooperative. Thank you very much.
Thank you, City of Paris. I'm sorry we're on a very tight schedule today, and we will have time to hear more in our question and answer session. But next I want to give the floor to the City of Santos, Brazil.
Bom dia, bonjour, good morning. I am Rogério Santos from Santos City, Brazil. I don't speak English very well, so I will read the presentation. I am very proud to be here talking a little about what we are developing in your city, concentration or sustainable development objectives. Like our great cities around the world, we have big challenges and limited resources to solve our current social problem. But with creativity and resilience, we are working to build a better, welcome city for everyone. Santos is located just 60 kilometers from São Paulo state capital, the largest consumer center in Latin America. A seaside resort, Santos is known for its natural beauty, beach, quality of life, education rugby, and the port, through which one-third of Brazil trade balance passes. Santos is also international famous for being a UNESCO City of Film and the home of our Santos football, which produced the best player of all time, Pelé. Thank you. Quality of life has always been a very big preoccupation and concentration of work carried out in the city. Today, we have the sixth best HDI in the country, very close to what we see in the principal European countries and capitals. This result is the fruit of continued work by consecutive municipal administrators and governors. This is why Santos is recognized by several institutions in the country for the work done, which consequently guarantees of quality life. We have the country's biggest sanitation coverage, delivering drinking water and waste disposal. The city is also considered among the best in the country to live. Despite the quality of life, we do have challenges. The city has of extreme vulnerability, and these have been the concentration of our work, guaranteeing a fair city with quality of life for everyone. In particular, we have the dike areas dating back to 1996 and home to around 10,000 people living in extremely difficult circumstances. Aiming guarantee development and opportunities, we created the Villas Creatives, a project recognized by UNESCO which take qualification, health, culture, free time and sport directly to the communities in most need. In the last few years, we have delivered around 900 apartments for families in this region and have another 3,000 to be delivered, with investments in housing over 100 million US dollars. Some residents will be moved to the house where they will like the more dignity living in more adequate properties.
Okay. Thank you so much to the City of Santos. For the beautiful presentation as well, beautiful photos, makes me want to go there. And next up, we have the City of Salvador.
Good morning, everyone. Bonjour, bom dia. My name is João Victor. I'm the head of the National Cooperation Office of Salvador. It's a tough time, but I will try to be fast. So Salvador is the first capital of Brazil. We have 3 million people there. We are founded in 1549 by the Portuguese ones, and we are in a geological failure, so we have a down city and an up one. So we have a lot of climate change and challenge in our city. But we are one of the 10th smart cities in Brazil and the first one in the northeast area, and you should visit this, yeah. So, our problem is concerned about waste management. Salvador doesn't have a waste management as well planned today. So we are a big island. We have 50 kilometers of coastal line. So how to implement waste management in a city so connected with the sea and with 45 of our population under the line of poverty. This is a challenge for us. So we are trying to make the people more connected with this problem, and this waste management is one of the biggest one. So according to these emissions that you can see here, we have 382 tons of CO2 emissions connected to the waste management. So, and we have a bold plan to eradicate these emissions until 2049. So we have a climate action plan, but we need to connect with the people as well. Today we have some programs called Soma Vantagens. What is this? It's connected with a startup, and we call the civilization, but it's the high to medium income population of our city that we make. It's not working. Okay. So you can bring your waste to there, and there are containers, and you can change these like points. It's like Cascai points. I don't know if you know it in Portugal, but we just make a cooperation with them and just learn about it. And with these points, you can change into course in the city. We can change into products to the city as well. And so this is one of the programs that are implemented. And we have had this new results that make us proud because we just started pretty much some years ago. And I'm here today to convocate you to help Salvador to make this waste management. We are the blackest city outside Africa. We have a lot of challenges in our city. So if you have any solution, I'm here to share with you our climate action plan as well, and to learn with you some solutions. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Okay, so we've been on a journey from France to Brazil, and now we're coming back to Europe, where we're going to hear from the city of Amsterdam. Okay. Welcome.
Sorry to keep you waiting. We are doing a duo presentation because we are the city of Amsterdam together with the province of Flevoland, and we are the region, the metropolitan region of Amsterdam. And when COVID broke and we started to work from homes, and we also noticed that people were starting to lower down their ambitions on whatever. And the reason why we got together is because we thought Corona shows us that we need to have another way of living and that we need to have another way of doing. But it also showed us that if you give up ambitions, then you're going nowhere. So what we tried to do in the metropolitan region is to see how we could take the challenges that we already have, for example, like building houses for the huge shortage that we have in our region, to combine it with sustainability and see how we can do other ways. So we started a Green Deal on scaling up building houses in wood. Sorry. So we need to build 1 million houses in the Netherlands and approximately 3,000 in the region by 2030. And the way we want to do it is by building bio-based. And we do that, and the main thing is what we accomplish by that is that we have restrictions both on CO2 and NOx emissions, and we can speed up things. So how did we do that? We didn't do it as governments. We had a public-private cooperations and a triple helix. So both with companies and with universities, we set up these cooperations with 150 organizations to build in wood and bio-based materials. And one of our goals is, one of our main targets is that we have 20% houses built in wood by 225. So that is pretty soon. So our main targets are to put the emissions down and to put the speed up. And what we do is reduce CO2 by 200,000 tons in 4 years. We will also speed up our buildings because we can do it much more in a modular way, which really helps. But we can also reduce other emissions because we have much less transport. So these are the targets, but what are the challenges?
Yes, of course, because the ambitions are clear and we are all in it together, but we have some challenges. For example, if you're going to start to build in wood, you want to have sustainable wood, not tropical rainforest wood. So we have to make sure that it is local European or even Dutch wood that we apply. Because we want to maintain our European forests, but also the forests in the south of America, for example. We also see that this is a new skill that you need. We have skills and personnel, a lack of that. So we need to, that's why we work together with the universities of applied scientists and the education system to make the people ready to work in this transition. And also another problem is that we have business cases for the average buildings, but for the tall and larger buildings, we need to have a development in the business case for companies. But that's why it's also very important to work together with the companies, because if we, in our splendid isolation as governments, have a solution that doesn't make any sense on the field, then we're going nowhere. So we are very curious to hear whether you have solutions for us. Do you recognize those problems, and can you work with us together on this field? Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And you can stay here because we're about to have the Q&A session. We're only going to have 7 minutes. It's going to be very, very quick. Brief questions, brief answers. So I want to invite all of our city representatives to join us back on the stage.
Sorry about that.
Okay.
Now my thing is not working. Could I just get
Yes, of course. Do we have Salvador? All right. Firstly, thank you so much for sharing about the challenges that you're facing, and we all know the importance of starting with really clarifying what the problem is before getting to a solution. Now, I'm going to jump aside and hand it over to our jury for some questions.
I have a question for the city of Santos. We heard a beautiful presentation to promote football, economy and tourism, but what are the challenges? Because I'm a bit anxious that Santos seems to be a city with no challenges, no problems and no questions. So can we maybe hear a little bit more so we can compare with the challenges that the other cities had the courage and the honesty to present?
It would be great to hear from City of Santos, but unfortunately he's asked not to have questions as his English is a bit of a challenge for him. So maybe you can follow up with him afterwards and we'll focus on the ones here. Thanks for the question though, great question.
Thank you. Can I ask Salvador a question about the waste management? My experience is that it's very important to get, when you talk about waste management and circular economy, you need to get working business models. And of course, waste management, there is value in the waste. Is that something that you are exploring and trying to involve local ideas on getting that on board to develop something that will be also good for the labor market, for example?
Yeah, sure. This is a challenge for us as well. On March, me and the Undersecretary of Sustainability, who is there, we were in Portugal, and so we know a factory who makes some soap from the oil of the olive. So we are trying to make this happen in Salvador, because we have a cake called acarajé. I don't know if you know it, but it's good to taste. And this acarajé, it's made with oil as well, and we have a lot of it in Salvador. And we are trying to make now this. We are trying to turn this oil into a soap as well factory there, and we are make this connection, this cooperation with the Portuguese factory to make this happen in our city, for example. I know that we can have some richness, some wealth from the waste. And so I'm here just to know about you. How can you help me as well to make this happen? And so this is one of our examples that we have there. Yeah. Thank you.
Hello, I have a question for Amsterdam initiative. I think your approach is very interesting because you're putting together a number of stakeholders, and 130 is quite a large number. But you stated that there was a question of business case for large housing, I would say, units. So how do you see? And this is typical of the challenges in a number of initiatives of what do you set first? Do you set the objective and then you expect the entire value chain to adjust and find solutions, or do you do prep work and define the art of feasible and then define the regulations? What is the case in your case?
Well, I do believe that we already have examples of wooden buildings, but especially the scale up. How can we do that in a much larger extent, and how can we actually make sure that it's really within the demands of the cities, what they're doing? So first to look at what is possible and then set a demand and then set a goal, then we can wait for each other forever. So I do believe in setting goals and then have a cooperation and saying, how are we going to get there together? And what do you need from us in order to do this? And what can you bring us to put it further? So actually not only imposing, but also using the knowledge within the market. And at the same time, looking at smaller initiatives, we already have some housing co-operations by people who are building their own houses, and they often use wood. So they are the pioneers from the ground that actually can help us. But if you don't set a goal, if you keep on staying in this kind of pilot phase, then you're never going to scale up.
We just have less than a minute, so just ask you to keep it brief. Thank you.
Yes, just adding that we set the goals together with the market parties and the university, so it's not an isolated goal.
Very brief.
Hello, my question is for François Croquette, City of Paris. All the project is very, very good, but Paris you have the GEO in 2 years, and your objective is 50, c'est ça? 2050. For the GEO, because there is many people to come to Paris from the world, you have a plan, one planification for this moment.
We're already over time, so I'll ask you to keep it very brief. Thank you.
Of course, we have in a very short answer. As I said, the co-op will be up and running this year, and so we'll have it ready by 2024 in order to offset carbon emissions. And there's a whole lot of development. Environmental programs with the Olympic organization on food, on energy as well, that I don't have time to go into, but would be happy to discuss that if you want. And the people of Paris 2024, they were here yesterday, and I think some of them are here today. They can talk about it as well. But of course, we need to be ready by 2024, and we will be.
Perfect. An inspiring ending. Thank you so much. We're running a very tight schedule today, but I want to say a massive thank you to all of you for sharing about your challenges, to our jury. Big round of applause, everybody. Now, a lot of our speakers already shared that you're looking for solutions, and that is what we're going to be doing next. So in just a couple of minutes, we'll be starting with our next session. We'll be hearing from different solutions for sustainable cities. So do stick around, and we'll see you in a few minutes. Thank you all. and welcome to our pitch event here at the Garden Stage. Please put your headphones on if you don't have them on already so you can hear the event. Now, if you've just joined us, we've just heard reverse pitches from different cities around the world sharing the concrete challenges that they're facing in their cities. And what we're going to have now for this session is we're going to hear from different entrepreneurs who are solving the issue of sustainable cities and all of the many, many challenges that that involves. And the goal is really to bring together regional leadership with entrepreneurs and to see what magic we can make happen together. Now, we're going to hear from 8 different startups, and then we'll have time for Q&A with our wonderful jury who's sitting in front of me here. And I first want to hand it over to you guys to introduce yourself and just to share briefly, what are you excited about for the pitch?
So, hi everyone, I'm Charlotte Dubois-Gilbert, working for the 3D Experience Lab. The 3D Experience Lab is Dassault System Open Innovation Laboratory and Startup Accelerator. And we are always looking for disruptive startups that are positively impacting society. So I really can't wait to see what we have today with 8 startups that are going to pitch in a few minutes.
Very cool. I'm sure you won't be disappointed. Thanks for being here.
Hello everyone, so Clara Martini, I'm part of the venture arm of Saint-Gobain. So we're looking for all type of solutions helping us to reach net zero carbon objectives. So very excited to hear the pitches today.
Fantastic, thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm not Lucia Sinapi, I'm Laura Catan. I work for a financing agency for social entrepreneurship, where we're supporting more than 65 impact ventures to raise over 40 million euro in capital. So I'm really excited today to hear some innovations of how we can improve life in cities.
So hi everyone, my name is Juan Alvarez de Lara, I'm coming from Barcelona. I'm impacting innovation advisor and investor, and also from the institutional point of view, I'm the board member of European Business Angel Network, IBAN, and also the chairman of IBAN Impact Committee. Very
cool.
Excited to be here. It's my first time in Change Now, so very excited. Thank you.
Great to have you all here. Thank you so much for introducing yourselves. You can give that to me. So, how it's going to work now is, as you mentioned, we have 8 startups and they will each get 3 minutes only to pitch their idea. It's not a lot of time. The gong will go off at the end, so we're very strict on time here. And after that, we'll have time for Q&A with the jury. It's not a competition, so it's really about all of us being in this together, trying to make our world a better place, but the jury do get to vote on your favorite solution of the day via the QR code that you got before. All right, without further ado, let's go straight to the solutions. And the first one up today is Wind My Roof, bringing local and renewable energy to buildings thanks to the Windbox. Super curious, come to the stage. Please give a big round of applause.
Thank you.
Take it away.
Hi everyone, I'm Antoine, I'm the co-founder and CEO of Wind My Roof. Today I want to address 2 main issues that we are facing in the cities and especially on buildings, which are first, the carbon footprint of the electricity in Europe. Most countries besides France and some of the northern countries are still very carbon intensive on the electricity mix. And the other one is that the prices keep rising. For the past 12 years, we see here that nearly it's 30% of rising of the prices. And sorry to bring that to you, but I guess it's a trend with all the crises that we are facing right now. So what we want to do with Wind My Roof is bring some clean and cheap electricity to every building in our cities. How do we do that? Well, we developed the Windbox. It's a combined solution harnessing the power of wind and solar energy directly on top of the building. So it's not a classical wind turbine, it's really a 2 meters long box that goes on the edge of the roof to gather the upcoming winds on the face of the buildings. And first advantage is that it's very discreet. It's not a big pole on top of your building. It's only 1.6 meter high. You can almost not see it on most mid and high-rise buildings. And you cannot hear it. Since 2 meters away, you get no noise coming from the machine running. Second is that the Windbox is modular, meaning that it's not meant to be installed on just one box on the building, but really we want to create combined solar and wind farms on top of the buildings. We can see that there are a lot of logistics platform and retail buildings that are very long, very tall, and that are completely full in terms of electricity generation. Mainly, the Windbox is also very powerful. It produces up to 2.5 megawatt hour per year, meaning that if you put 5 of them on top of your roof, you can power up to 100 laptops all year long for a company. The main advantage of combining those two energy sources is that we produce electricity almost at the same level all year long, meaning that the wind produces more electricity in fall and in winter, and then the solar backs up in the winter. Also, the Windbox has a lower carbon footprint than any mix in the EU, meaning that under 25 grams of CO2 equivalent per kilowatt hour, we are able to reduce by 15 times the amount of CO2 emitted per kilowatt hour compared to the average European mix. You can see here, even in France, we are able to bring those answers to our clients. So Wind My Roof is working on its first project. I'm really glad to announce that we have our first commercial project coming up on Tuesday. I'm a bit stressed, I must admit, but it's the end of 3 years of research and development and really the whole new phase that is starting right now. So we are developing in France and in Germany. We have two projects coming in Hamburg in the coming month, and we are planning on a fundraising by the end of the year to support the industry and growth of the Windbox. Thank you very much, and I would gladly meet you on our booth in the Sustainable Cities floor. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Give it up for Wind My Roof. And good luck next week. All right, next up we have Kalmura Natural Walls, who have developed a patented carbon negative biocomposite wall system for homes. And I'm curious what that means. Please come and tell us.
Thank you. Hello, I'm Monty, CEO, co-founder of Kalmura Natural Walls, and we're building a better future for the planet. So why do we have such serious industry issues? We build with fast, cheap materials, and we're not making buildings better. And then we come along with technology bandages to try to fix these problems, which creates even more waste, which don't have very high costs on these waste or emissions. We need to look at historic buildings that have endured, like Adobe and Cobb, and the Notre Dame de Paris, where they use natural materials and lime binders. So after 23 years in the building industry, I discovered a superior building material being used here in Europe. This is a material that was rediscovered in 1988 by Charles Rossetti here in France, where he combined chaux, which is lime binder, with chanvre, which is hemp herds, to create this superior biocomposite material. This has inspired a movement around the world for builders to build impressive buildings like this that solve these industry problems and protect, comfort, heal, and sustain future generations. So, wanting to build this with this material but not finding it locally available, the team at Kalmura pivoted to developing a novel system using panels and infill to create these walls more quickly. This can be quickly scalable through regional plants to provide, using regional materials to provide these materials all over the world. We have a simple wall system which uses the bones of wood framing around which a biocomposite wall body is created, and we have a skin that gives us climate change resilient walls. If you come to my booth later, I'll tell you of our research where we discovered that we can use not only hemp, but we can also use wood and other waste agricultural resources like bagasse and rice husk and artichoke stalks to create these toxin-free zero waste walls. These panels that we make can also be used in deep energy retrofits and along with mass timber buildings to make them more silent, fireproof, and insulated. So we have many inquiries for our products for use in projects, and we're ready to supply to the industry. This industry is going to see massive changes in the next 5-7 years due to these 4 trends. The one we're most interested in is carbon reduction in buildings, where we need biomaterials like ours, and which were mentioned earlier, to reduce the carbon footprints of buildings due to highly intensive emitting materials. So we're looking for strategic partners that know we can't fix the broken system with bandages and want to build better buildings now. We're the future of sustainable walls, and we hope you join us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Perfect timing as well. All right, everybody. Next up, we have got Catrick Technologies, an IP-based business developing zero-carbon technologies.
Thank you. I'm Karthikeyan Velayut, I'm founder and
We are
co-CEO of...
Catrick Technologies. With rising global temperatures and an increasing...
Sorry, we got a video and I think it got stuck.
We are Catrick Technologies. With rising global temperatures and an increasing need for decarbonisation across all sectors to reach our collective net zero targets, the need for investment in sustainable infrastructure is crucial. Even our communications have an impact on carbon emissions. Catrick is working on new innovations which could play a significant role in reducing global temperatures and energy security. Our world-first patented vibrational passive cooling technology delivers effective carbon-free cooling power to data centers without the need for any additional power, saving costs, carbon and kilowatts in a rapidly growing sector that has already used over 1% of global electricity in 2020 alone. For a standard-sized data center, our passive cooling technology can reduce total cooling energy requirements around 70% and save up to 1,000 tons of CO2 per year, transforming data centers from energy-hungry centers to eco-friendly data providers. There is an enormous potential for onshore wind to help us meet our climate targets, but we're missing out on a key environment. Large swathes of untapped urban areas with ground-level wind represent a massive opportunity for onshore wind. Our flexible and scalable wind panels are designed to bring carbon-free electricity to every environment. Just one of our aesthetically pleasing 10-kilowatt wind panel arrays could generate 22 megawatt-hours of carbon-free electricity every year. This can provide power for up to 6 homes in the UK alone. From providing off-grid solutions such as electric vehicle charging points in city centres, to fencing along rural and urban roads, along motorways as perimeter fencing and noise barriers, providing perimeter fencing and noise barriers to airports, and complementing wind farms to double their output. But we don't stop here. Catrick Technologies has a suite of patented technologies coming on board in the near future. We are introducing the world's first wave energy device, generating power using mechanical vibrations, which will replace existing wave breakers. From solar and geothermal to wave and tidal and engines, Catrick has just begun to revolutionize the green energy market. We need everyone to play their part in our collective path to net zero. Visit us to revolutionize the energy sector for a greener future.
Thank you. I will answer your questions in the end. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. We have one more solution and then we're going to have our first round of Q&A. And our next solution is Marva, who are doing carbon sequestering eco-concrete. And when you're ready, we'll happily welcome you to the stage. We're just having a small tech issue over there. The suspense. Good to go? All right.
Hello everyone, my name is Maria and I'm the founder and CEO of Mava. At Mava, we create carbon sequestering eco-concrete. Concrete, as the second most used material on Earth, is responsible for 8% of global CO2, one of the most destructive materials, which is sand and water consuming with high carbon footprint. As a result, the world is running out of river sand and the climate change is getting worse. We are offering eco-concrete, where we mix low carbon binder with recycled plastic waste to replace sand and then cure it with CO2. Sand constitutes 70% of the concrete, and with river sand being kind of almost removed from the earth in near future, we have a problem of a scarcity that's going to drive the cost high. Our product reduces the water by 75% and reduces the sand use by 60% and sequesters carbon for almost 1,000 years for free. We have two different versions of our products. The first one is perfect for non-structural applications such as pavers, walkways, countertops, and wall cladding. And the second one, which is in development, is great for structural applications. It is lighter and it cures much faster, almost 10 times faster. We have two different go-to-market strategies depending on the location we are going to use our product. The first one is partnering on a facility, and the second one is building our own facility. The first one is great for our international collaborations, which we have 2 pilots in negotiations and 1 letter of intent. And the second one is just to build our own facility, and so that would enable us to kind of develop our material further and also be able to create our own precast concrete products, which are carbon sequestering. As you can see, we are the only company that uses plastic waste, mix it with concrete, and sequesters carbon doing so. The other companies are either in recycling part of the market or the carbon sequestering part. There's a huge market for our product. We want to start with 40 billion US market and grow to 1 trillion global market. We are also looking into 200 billion carbon capture market in the US. We are looking into a mix of direct sales and licensing for our product. The licensing would allow us to use our product globally, and the precast concrete product sell with the gross margin of 98% will allow us to build our own facility and have our own product commercialized in the US. We advanced 8 United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Our team we are a team of innovators and business leaders. Our innovation team has developed more than 10 patents solving the most challenging problems of our era, and now they are on their next mission, which is concrete and waste pollution.
So thank you so much.
Sure. Thank you.
And we will have the Q&A in just a second. You can stay here, in fact. You can keep the microphone. And I'm sure you will have a chance to answer any questions that come up.
Can I have my last slide up, if that's
we
okay?
really don't have time. We're on a very tight schedule, so I'm...
no.
I'll just put it up. Yeah, of course. Okay. Yeah. I think, yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. Any questions?
Okay. First, we'll just invite the others to come to the stage as well. So all of our solutions who have just pitched, please welcome them back. And guys, let's bring some energy into the room. Stand up. These guys they deserve a standing ovation. They are putting their time and energy into saving our planet.
Thank you.
All right. Now, we're going to have a very quick Q&A. Thank you. It's also good to just stand up occasionally. We only have 5 minutes. We'd love to have a question from each of you and a question for each of our solutions, if possible. So we'll ask you to really keep it as brief as possible. All right, take it away.
Maybe I go with the first one with Win My Roof. Thank you so much for the presentation. I was curious if you could tell us a bit more about the go-to-market strategy and who is the ideal client. Thank you.
So right now we are producing the first 100 wind boxes. The first business model is just to sell those wind boxes to clients. Our 4 clients are social housing, retail companies and industries. Right now we are working in France. We have 3 projects coming up, and we are right now incorporating a company in Germany also to access the market there. We are really using the help of our partners, Solar Impulse Foundation, Vinci Energy, which is also one of our historical investors, and they really help us deliver the complete project to our clients. We are the manufacturers of the solutions, but we have a network of partners locally in France, and we are developing it in Germany to really being able to produce turnkey solutions for the clients.
A question for Mava, so Maria. So thanks for the presentation. I was curious about what kind of plastic waste. So what type of plastic and how are you implementing it and familiar with this value chain?
Yeah, sure. So actually technology was developed by my chief science officer who holds a PhD in material science, and she's a professor at University of Denver. And she has she specializes in polymers. So we have been testing with different type of plastic, and we have chosen almost 4 or 5 types that are non-recyclable. And the problem with plastic is that usually it doesn't bind very well with concrete, and that's why it hasn't been commercialized yet. So we have found a way that we can bind this plastic quite well with concrete, and also make concrete carbon sequestering at the same time. So it's kind of a part of our secret, trade secret. So I am not able to just name the plastics at the moment, but it's all about how we mix them together, as well as how we're gonna mix the plastic with the concrete, other elements that are in the concrete.
I have a question for you, for Canberra. I was wondering how your technology fit with current construction processes and how energy consuming is your panels.
Thanks for the question. Well, it's a bit of a different building science with our technology. In North America, we use lots of wraps and tapes to try to keep water from going into the walls. These are vapor open walls that are meant to breathe, and if they get wet, they will dry out and become stronger. So it's a different technology. And the second part of your question?
So there is not actually retrofitting to existing construction. You're targeting the new building market.
Well, for energy retrofits, you could use our panels on the outside of the building or inside of the building to make them more energy efficient. And ultimately, our wall system will be a high-performance wall system, so your energy use is greatly reduced.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, thank you. I was expecting you to pitch, but my question would be, which is your competitive advantage and which are the competitors of your solution right now?
For the passive cooling, you have a free... For the passive cooling, you got free air solution, so you just bring the ambient air inside to the data center and you can cool it. But servers are quite sensitive, so air is if you just bring the air with the humidity and everything, it's quite a difficult job. So some of the data center do use them, but with the filters and other things, it's a quite complicated process. So that's why this type of passive cooling is quite novel in that sense. In terms of the wind, what we are trying to solve is a wind turbine works very good if the wind flow is quite laminar, which is normally the case 20 meters above the ground. But if you go on to this urban environment, the wind flow is quite turbulent, and you got gust winds and you got wind channeling effects due to the buildings. So what we are always trying to do is try to spin something, so all the energy is concentrated to one single shaft. So what we have is independently oscillating aerofoil, so that's why it's quite different to all other rotary type systems. The way we are trying to bring this technology to the market is we are not trying to produce anything, so we are bringing the right OEMs, global OEMs, into this into partnership. We are talking to some of the global banks, even to defense companies, so who wants to test this passive cooling technologies. For the wind, we are collaborating with a number of airports globally, so they want to be the first to bring this wind into the
Thank you so much for the questions, for your answers. I know it's very quick, but we have a networking area where you can continue chatting afterwards. Big round of applause for our solutions. Thank you so much. And we've got 3 more entrepreneurs ready to pitch their solution to you, and we'll get straight to it. And the next one is Photonel, which is a revolutionary solution to convert CO2 directly into valuable circular chemicals. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Well, it's very nice to see you all. My name is Veronique de Bruin. I am the CEO of Photonel. Before I get into my story, I'm just a little bit interested, who are you, where are you from? So just to get some idea, who of the audience is in a corporate, a large corporate producing materials? Thank you, thank you. And who would be from the financial side, so investing side? Thank you. And then I also still have a question on brand owners or advisors to build brands, so maybe marketing or areas like that. Okay, clear, just for me to get it right. So here we are. These, what is shown on these pages, these are our champions, and they serve the solution for the future on supplying us with all of the materials that we need in a responsible way. So we use, as a society, we use a lot of chemicals and fuels, and we basically cannot do without. We have the ambition to reduce the number, but still with growing populations the demand will be ever rising. So we will need to find just another way to produce the same chemicals and fuels that are currently produced from fossil industry. And I'm going to show you how. The fossil industry, and again this summer, so I've been in this already for 10 years, developing and taking things from the lab all the way to where we are now, midway towards commercialization. Last year I read the IPCC report and it's really alarming. We are still not going fast enough, and the urgency really has to come through in all of the levels, so regulation and corporates and investors and startups like us. So the pressing urgency is very clear. One of the most polluting industries supplying all of the materials that we need is the chemical industry, responsible for 25% of all CO2 emitted. So it's a really key element to be addressed. Now, what do? We have a technology where we make exactly the same chemicals and fuels, exactly chemically the same drop-ins, and we use the C atoms from CO2. So instead of fossil oil, we use CO2 to make exactly the same. So how does that work? We use cyanobacteria, which in essence are small plants. They are photosynthetic, so they use the solar energy as an energy source, eat, so to speak, CO2, make sugar in their cells, and that sugar they ferment to a product of choice. That is what is depicted on the slide. So it's a very simple process. It's been around for billions of years. Cyanobacteria were actually the first organisms on the planet, so they're highly developed to work in this way. We make ingredients for personal care, for the plastic industry, biodegradable plastics. We make detergent ingredients. We make all ingredients exactly the same as are used currently. We have an amazing team. I'm very proud of them. So I'm really happy to be able to lead this team and to take them all jointly to the future. So what do we need? I'd love to speak to corporates, to brand owners and financiers who will help us jointly to make this change now.
Okay, next up we have EcoPals, who are transforming non-recyclable plastics into sustainable, high-performance, low-cost asphalt additive. Welcome to the stage.
Thank you so much. My name is Maxi from EcoPals, and I have the honor to present it to you today. Let's assume you're responsible for the road infrastructure in your hometown. You could either use asphalt that you have used over the last 5 decades, or you implement a technology that reuses non-recyclable plastics, significantly increases the reliability of roads, and reduces CO2 by up to 30%. What would be your choice? Let's give me the opportunity to explain you the construct of modern asphalt. It consists of aggregates, stones, oil, bitumen, and polymers, virgin plastics. Virgin plastic modification is the modern response to answer the high performance requirements in road construction nowadays. But it comes along with a 20% increase of costs and CO2 emissions. And of course, it's made of virgin plastics. And that is where we come into play. We turn non-recyclable plastic into a polymer modification in asphalt. And our promises are, we make roads more durable. I'm speaking about doubling the lifetime. We decrease the carbon footprint by up to 30%. And we offer you this high-performance asphalt for the price of a standard asphalt. by preventing incineration of non-recyclable plastic, by substituting bitumen, and by, of course, increasing the performance and the lifespan of asphalt, we can decrease the carbon footprint in asphalt by up to 30 million tons a year worldwide by this product alone. And it's just a small hack. What have we achieved so far? We've built already actually 7 pilot roads with 8 construction companies. We have several LOIs from renowned construction companies in our pockets and partnering already with Veolia and PreZero. So let's come back to the beginning. If you have forgotten, you're still responsible for the road construction infrastructure in your hometown. What would be your choice? Actually, we think there is no choice. The solution itself benefits everyone and it works. And that is why we are targeting currently 100 pilot roads worldwide to prove the industry and the public authorities that it is worthy to go that way. So, thank you very much. Please join us on our stand in Sustainable Cities, and I'm looking forward to your questions. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, we have one more solution to hear from before we're going to have some more questions from our wonderful jury, and that is Low Carbon France, who are raising awareness of climate change through free events. Welcome to the stage.
Hi everyone, can you hear me well? Awesome. Well, I'm Amina. I'm the founder and the president of the NGO Low Carbon France, as she said. We created the NGO 5 years ago with 2 main goals. The first one is to raise awareness about climate change, obviously. And the second one is to give concrete solutions for people to change their habits, their daily habits. How do we do that? We organize free events about lots of topics. Can be renewables, slow food, slow fashion, etc. Like so many topics. We have 2 convictions that drive our action. First, that all our events has to be free. Why? Because otherwise you have only people already convinced, already aware, and people who can afford to go to these events. Our second conviction is that everyone can find their way towards ecology and environment. So we organize every week events about lots of topics and also lots of formats. Can be workshops, can be cooking classes, can be conferences, whatever. So many events. And today, like every year, we are reaching more than 15,000 people. But it's not enough today. We have to go faster, we have to accelerate. So our goal is to scale up. We want to reach 100,000 people in the next year. So how we plan to do that? To changing our model. We are based on a volunteering model. We are organizing our events thanks to 50 amazing dynamic volunteers, but we want to hire people and to extend. We are based only in Paris right now, and we want to go to every big cities in France to reach way more people. So how can you help us with that? First, financing these projects for us to be able to hire, and also to give us contacts in all the locations we want to develop. We already tested our approach. We organized events in Lyon, in Grenoble, in Marseille, and all the cities. It worked really well, and people were enthusiastic. But we have so many things to still to keep doing in Paris. So we have to have more people, and for that we need your support. So thanks a lot for being there and for listening to this project. Have a nice day.
Thank you so much. You can stay here because I want to invite all the rest of the solutions who just pitched back to the stage for the Q&A. We're still missing one. No worries at all. So I'll give the stage to you. We've got 5 minutes again. We'd love to have a question for everybody, and take it away.
Okay, so first of all, congratulations to all the startups that they were pitching today. So amazing, thank you. And my first question would be for EcoPulse. Which is your business model, and if you have any competitors on the market right now?
Of course. So the business model is pretty easy. we enable recycling companies to produce the product for us. So we hand over the recipe and the patent structure, and they produce the product for us, and we take a commission in order to trade it into the market itself. So at the end, we are a trader with the patent recipe. And competitors, yeah, they are. I would say they are these old-fashioned competitors that produce virgin plastics, and there are two more worldwide scene that tackle more or less the same approach that we do, but with their own production facilities. So a little bit different.
I have a question for you, Photonol. Love the project, really. Congratulations. I have one concern about how polluting or not are the manufacturing of your massive bioplants to produce this technology.
Very good question. We are producing, we develop several product applications, and we are producing also the plastic that is used, or we will be in the future, that is used to make our photobioreactors. So our photobioreactors are, by all means, recyclable and produced from our own feedstock stream. So even if we would burn them, then the CO2 can be reused. So it's a circular solution, truly circular.
Very good answer.
Thank you.
Maybe I'd like to respond a bit to your question from Low Carbon France and also address a bit what I have seen across the different pitches. I think most of the solutions you are sharing are very innovative. And as we know with innovative projects, sometimes it can be hard to sell. Yeah, because you need to really raise awareness, and you need people, both on the consumer side, on policymakers, you mentioned the public authorities, as well as, corporates, to actually change practices. And we all know how resistant we are as human beings to changing, right? So I think your work is absolutely fundamental. And if you think of developing a business model, why not partner with all of these incredible entrepreneurs and do the work for them? Because with the work you're doing, that is the first step in their journey to actually access new markets. So I think really start from here, because you're all working for the same cause. So congrats to all of you.
Can I answer? Please. Thanks. Well, thanks for what you just said. I completely agree, of course. We actually have a model. Like we are we are definitely more a B2C NGO than B2B, if I can say an NGO is B2B, but we already sell some missions to some companies to help them in their transition. Then that's finance our current events actually, and we have lots of proposals, but we were really strict from the beginning for the last 5 years with our partners, because we don't want to be associated with companies that don't share our values, which reduce quite significantly the number of people we can work with. But it's something I'm really, I'm convinced. I don't want to work with people who don't share my values, even if I have to work more and I have to spend my night doing that, because I have a job apart. I'm representative and I'm president of 3 NGOs, so I have some stuff to do, but still I prefer working more to find people who share my values with. But of course I would be glad to work with people who who develop really nice projects.
A question for EcoPal. So thanks for the presentation. On the sourcing of the non-plastic your materials.
Non-recyclable plastic.
Non-recyclable plastic. Where does it come from, and what are the different plastic you can take?
Okay, that's actually a surprise when I started this whole project. So the whole journey started in Nepal, where we stumbled about loads of plastic lying in the environment. But when we came to Europe, we don't see the plastic, but we're still burning and landfilling 50% of the plastic waste. That's around 20 million tons a year. So that's actually what we tackle. So we take multi-layer plastics that have no other use. That's most important. And we get them more or less for free from Veolia, Pre-Zero, Suez. They have to do processing, of course, and that's where we get charged probably, but that's it.
All right, and that is all we have time for, unfortunately. So thank you so much for your questions. Thank you for your answers. Massive round of applause. Show some love to these incredible solutions, giving their time and their energy to save the world. And that's that's it for this session right now, but we will be back in a couple of minutes to talk about solutions for sustainable fashion. So feel free to stick around, and otherwise enjoy the rest of your day. You can find the startups in the networking area if you want to hear more about their work, and thanks for being here. Have a great rest of your afternoon.